So we see that when Solomon answered the Lord, he prayed this prayer. The prayer that Solomon prayed was for the people. Let's don't miss that. Watch what it says. It says, ask what I shall give thee. And then verse 6, and Solomon said, thou hast showed unto thy servant David my father great mercy, according as he walked before thee in truth and in uprightness of heart, and righteousness of and truth, and in righteousness and uprightness of heart with thee, and thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne as it is this day. And now, O Lord my God, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father. And here's what he said, I am but a little child. I'm but a little child. I know not how to go out or how to come in. What's he saying? I don't know how to do a royal procession. You made me king and I don't know how to be a king. How many of you ever were faced with a responsibility that you didn't know how to fulfill? Where are my people? Where are my people? Exactly. Do you understand that your lack of qualification oftentimes is your greatest qualification? Because if you were totally qualified, you wouldn't need God. The fact that you're not qualified gives you a space in which to invite God into what's about to happen. And he said, I'm but a little child, I don't know how to go out or come in. Verse 8, and thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered or counted for multitude. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad, for who is able to judge this thy so great people? Can you tell that God loves people? So can I ask you a question? Why do you hate people so much? Oh snap, did that slip out? God loves people, but we hate people. We're clearly missing something. In fact, we're missing it so much that the Apostle John said, how can you say you love God whom you haven't seen, if you hate your brother whom you have seen? When God said to Solomon, I'm going to give you anything you want, Solomon said, you put me in charge of these people to serve these people, and I don't know how to serve these people. I'm like a little child. I don't know how to serve these people. I don't know how to judge these people. I don't know how to be a king over these people. You love these people. God, I don't want to mess it up because these are your people. Is that how you pray when it comes time for your work? So I'm going to put the prayer of Solomon in modern day vernacular. You want a prayer that will change your life? I mean, the prayer of Jabez is nice, but the prayer of Solomon will change your life for the rest of your life. Here it is. Dear Lord, give me the wisdom to do the thing you put me on this earth to do in a way that pleases you and serves the people you put me here to serve. That was the prayer. That's all he said. He said, I don't know how to be a king. I'm a little kid. I don't know what to do. I'm lost in the sauce. I don't know how to be a king. He said, give me a wise and understanding heart that I can judge your people. Why? Because the king's job was twofold. Go read Deuteronomy chapter 17. You'll see the king's job. The king's job was to study the word of God all day long with a pen and a notepad in his hand, and then write out the law, and then judge righteous judgment. That was the king's job. And he said, I don't want to mess this thing up. So give me a wise and an understanding heart. Why is he saying that? He's saying, dear Lord, give me the wisdom to do the thing you put me on this earth to do in a way that pleases you, serves the people you put me here to serve. I'm going to tell you something. There's some new mamas in here that don't know I don't know what to do with this baby. I just don't know. Congratulations. That is the perfect place to be. Dear Lord, give me the wisdom to be the mother you put this child in my life to be, so that I can serve this child in a way that pleases you. Some of y'all are newly married. Some of y'all have been married for a long time, still ain't figured out how to be a good husband, how to be a good wife. Am I keeping it real? Dear Lord, give me the wisdom to be the husband you put me here to be in a way that pleases you and serves this wife you've given me to serve. Dear God, give me the wisdom to be the wife you put me on this earth to be in a way that pleases you and serves this husband you've given me to serve. Dear Lord, give us the wisdom to be the parents you put us here to be in a way that pleases you and serves these children you've given here to serve. Dear Lord, you come to Church LV, give me the wisdom to be the kind of member you put me here in this church to be in a way that pleases you and serves the other people in this church. Like if we just learn to pray like that, we're so busy looking for what we're going to get out of the deal. We forget God put us here for two reasons. Please God, serve people. If I'm pleasing God, I'm serving people, I'm on mission. Now, if I start flipping the script, I'm out of whack. I start pleasing people and serving God, I'm out of whack. Now, I'm going to serve God, but But how do I serve God? Well, Jesus said, as you've done it unto the least of these, you've done it also unto me. So the whole thing is solved when we please God, serve people. Solves that's the whole equation. That's why you are here. That's why I'm here. If I'm looking for something else, I'm looking in the wrong place for the wrong thing. This is how Solomon became Solomon. The wisest, wealthiest man who ever lived. Why? Because he was consumed with the love that he had for God and the work that he was put here to do. He wanted to fulfill his purpose in a way that pleased God and served people. It's in the Bible. I didn't put it in there. Pastor Benny didn't put it in there. It was in there this morning. Okay. And then it says, and the speech pleased the Lord, that Solomon asked this thing. And God said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself. Solomon didn't pray a selfish prayer. See, we're like, God, give me. God, can you just give me some more? And then once you give me some more, if you could just give me some more. Am I keeping it real? Like, when was the last time we just prayed, Lord, give me the wisdom to do the thing you put me here to do in a way that you're pleased and people are served? Like, if that becomes your magnificent obsession, you are going to be blessed beyond measure. Okay, I got to read faster because we need to get to the point eventually. We're still in the introduction. Pray for me. Y'all think I'm playing, but ain't nobody playing with you. Okay, all right, so, okay. And the speech pleased the Lord. Solomon asked this thing, and God said unto him, because you've asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast thou asked riches for thyself, nor hast thou asked for the life of thine enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Why? Because that's why he was there, to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy words. I have given thee a wise and an understanding heart. How wise, how understanding? God said, Solomon, you about to be the GOAT. The greatest of all times. That's what it says. It says, behold, I've done according to thy words. I'm giving you wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. You will be the greatest of all times. Why? Because your desire was to please God and serve people. Why? Because Jesus said, he will be greatest among you. Let him do what? Be servant of who? Oh! Do you look for ways to serve the people whose paths you cross every day? Because if you're not looking for that, you are looking for the wrong thing. You're confused. A lot of people are confused, so it's not terrible to be confused, it's just terrible to stay confused. Okay, now, it says, if thou wilt walk in my ways, keep my statutes and my commandments, as thy father David did walk, and I will lengthen thy days. And Solomon awoke, and behold, it was a dream, and he came to Jerusalem and stood before the ark of the covenant and the Lord, and offered burnt offerings and offered up peace offerings and made a feast unto his servants. We're gonna go over to chapter 4 now, just for the sake of time, and I want you to see the promotions that Solomon promoted. Wait, now y'all do understand, there was no Facebook, there was no YouTube, there was no LinkedIn, there was no Instagram, there was no TikTok. And without all that, Solomon's promotions that he promoted and produced carried his fame around the world. Watch this. Here's what it says. In 1 Kings chapter 4, we're going to skip down to, there's so much in here. I'm going to start with verse number 29. And God gave Solomon wisdom and understanding exceeding much. How much? Exceeding much. How much? Everybody talk to me. Exceeding much. And largeness of heart, even as the sand that is on the seashore. And Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the east country, and all the wisdom of Egypt, for he was wiser than all men. And then God said, just so you don't miss what I'm saying, I'm going to start naming some people, right? He said he was wiser than all men, than Ethan the Ezrahite, than Haman and Kahal and Darda and the sons of Mahal, and his fame was in all nations round about. How did Solomon's fame get in all nations round about? All nations! What's happening here? They don't have cell phones. They don't have social media apps. Solomon's fame went throughout all the world. But all the people in the world were paying attention. Have you heard about Solomon? Hey, did you hear about Solomon? Did you hear about Solomon? Hey, did y'all hear about Solomon? Okay, watch this. Here's what it says. It says, his fame was in all nations round about, verse 32, and he spake 3,000 proverbs. And his songs were 1,005. Everybody take out your cell phone. Take out your cell phone right now. Take it out. I want you to go to your, I know you're like, this dude is different. Yep. Go to your Instagram, and I want you to tell me, is there anybody in here who has posted 3,000 proverbs on their Instagram? I have not. I'm not. Okay, is it okay if I confess in front of the church? I ain't even at 1,000. And we post stuff all the time. I just looked at my Instagram. I was like, oh, man, you got to step it up, bro. I only have 774 posts on Instagram. Solomon had 3,000. Not on Instagram, clearly. Ooh, there's an idea. Start posting Solomon's Proverbs on Instagram. Okay, anyway, I just got a great idea. So in the middle of a sermon, who knew? Okay, so he wrote 3,000 Proverbs, and his songs were 1,005. Everybody go to your YouTube channel. Go to your YouTube channel. Maybe you have 3,000 on TikTok, or maybe you have 3,000 on Facebook, but probably not. You're wondering why your business is struggling. You know why? Because you ain't helping nobody. Solomon started writing stuff that would help other people, and the word got around because the promotions that he created, like people started talking about, did you hear what Solomon said about this? Did you hear what Solomon said about that? So you go to YouTube. So I'm going to go to YouTube. I'm going to go to my YouTube channel and see if his songs were 1,005. I just want to see if I have 1,005 videos. Please, Lord, let me have 1,005. I haven't looked, so I don't even know. Oh, dear Lord, I'm putting myself on blast right now in front of God and everybody. 747 videos. I got work to do. You put up 3 videos on YouTube, 2 posts on Instagram. I don't have any followers. You ain't done nothing yet, baby. Is that too real? Solomon, now, let me tell you what Solomon did. Okay, in fact, I'm going to read it to you, then I'm going to tell you what he did. It says he spake, his songs were 1,005. He spake of trees. He spake of trees? From the cedar tree that is in Lebanon, even unto the hyssop that springeth out of the wall, and he spake also of beasts and fowl and creeping things and fishes. What are we reading? What is this? Like, is anybody else confused? Like, what are we, may I ask, what are we talking about here? Here's what we're talking about. Solomon had the ability, because God gave him wisdom, to teach uncommon lessons through commonplace things. And when he did, it was noteworthy. Solomon wrote proverbs about trees and animals and fish and insects. And his fame went throughout all the nations round about. Oh, okay. That didn't hit you. Okay. Watch this. And then it says, and there came of all the people to hear the wisdom of Solomon from all the kings of the earth, which had heard of his wisdom. Do you realize that God has orchestrated and ordained your life to go down a very specific path so you would have specific trials and specific triumphs, so that when you get to the people you're supposed to serve, you have the answers that they have been looking for? And then guess what? They're going to go tell their friends, and their friends are going to come. Okay, watch this. So we're going to skip forward a little more. Let's go to chapter 10. This is where we get into the business model. Okay? So I saw this stuff and I'm like, this is amazing. I started geeking out. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm getting chills right now thinking about, like, oh, this is so good. This has helped me so, like when I say, so just so y'all know what I mean. I don't want to be ambiguous, but I also don't want to sound like I'm flexing, because I'm not flexing, because God did it. I just followed his blueprint. Are y'all tracking? Yeah. I'm talking about, in the last 5 years, more than $50 million of revenue. Not 5 million, not 10 million, $50 million of revenue working part-time. From this, what I'm showing you right now. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Let's look at 1 Kings chapter 10. It says, when the queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon. How did she hear of the fame of Solomon? He wrote 3,000 proverbs. His songs were 1,005. His fame went to all nations round about. So the content that he produced attracted people to him, because he proved to the people that he could help them before he started charging them. So they knew that he could help them. You know what I call all the stuff that I post on social media? You know what I call it? I don't call it free content, because it's not free. You know what I call it? I call it community service content. It's the stuff that I create to serve the community, because I know everybody doesn't want to pay me, and I'm okay with that. So I create stuff just to help everybody. Even the people who don't want to pay. Now they have to pay with their attention. They don't have to pay with any money. And I never put anything on social media, on YouTube especially, because YouTube long form is my main platform. I never put on YouTube anything that I couldn't have sold. If I can't sell it, it's not worth giving away. Okay? So I'm really giving y'all some nuggets here. Now, here's what it says. She heard of the fame of Solomon concerning the name of the Lord, and she came to prove him with hard questions. And it came to pass, and she came to Jerusalem with a very great train and camels that bear spices and very much gold. How much gold? How much? Very much gold and precious stones. And when she was come to Solomon, she communed with him of all that was in her heart. And Solomon told her all her questions. And there was not anything hid from the king, what she told her not. And the queen of Sheba, when the queen of Sheba had seen Solomon's wisdom, she had seen Solomon's wisdom. What does that mean? When you have wisdom, it shows up in your life so people can't miss it. What you do speak so loudly, you don't even need to open your mouth. Okay, y'all tracking. Okay. When the queen of Sheba had seen all Solomon's wisdom in the house that he had built, and the meat of his table, and the sitting of his servants, and the attendance of his ministers, and their apparel, and his cupbearers, and the ascent by which he went up into the house of the Lord, there was no more spirit in her. What does that mean? It means what he did before he opened his mouth took her breath away. She's like, oh my goodness, I think I'm going to pass out. Yeah. And then it says, and she said to the king, it was true. It was a true report that I heard in my own country. She said unto the king, it was a true report that I heard in mine own land of thy acts and of thy wisdom. And then she said the same thing that all of us are thinking, howbeit, I believed not the words until I came. Wow. So his reputation was so big, she said there's no universe in which that could be true. And she said, I didn't believe it. So when all these people talk about Solomon this, Solomon that, Solomon, oh yeah, Solomon, yeah, I'm so tired of hearing about Solomon. Ain't nobody that good. That's what she said. I didn't believe it. And then she said, howbeit I believe them not. Lost my place. Verse 7. Howbeit I believe not the words until I came, and mine eyes have seen. Watch what she says next. And behold, the half was not told me. Thy wisdom and thy prosperity. Thy wisdom and thy what? Thy prosperity exceedeth the fame which I heard. Here's what she said. She said, I thought you couldn't be half as good as they said you were. But now that I've seen you, I can tell that you're twice as good as they said you were. She said, your wisdom preceded you, and it was so big, I thought it exceeded you until I met you. And then I realized that you exceed the reputation of you. Like the experience of you is greater than the reputation of you. Is that what people experience when they experience you? Like they hear, yeah, okay, that sounds good. I know, I heard already. Okay, and then they meet you, they're like, oh my goodness, now I see why all these people do. That's what happened. Okay, y'all tracking. And then it says, this is so amazing. This is so beautiful. The first thing the Queen of Sheba noticed was the byproduct of the blessing of the people who served in Solomon's court. Here's what it says. Happy are thy men. Happy are these thy servants, which stand continually before thee and hear thy wisdom. Blessed be the Lord thy God, which delighted in thee and set thee on the throne of Israel, because the Lord loved Israel. She said, God put you on the throne to serve these people, not because he loved you, but because he loved them so much, he gave them you. What? Can God demonstrate his love to the people he put you here to serve by giving them you? That's what God loved these people so much. He gave them you. He loved them so much. He gave them you. Solomon's the most mind-blowing person on earth, and the thing she saw was how blessed the people around him were. He was the rising tide that lifted all ships. Okay. Calm down, Myron. You're 63. Pump the brakes, bro. And it says, happy are these thy servant, stand continually before thee and hear thy wisdom. Blessed be the Lord thy God, which delighted in thee and set thee on the throne of Israel, because the Lord loved Israel forever. When God looks at your wife, men, does he say, God loved your wife so much he gave her you? When God looks at your husband, ladies, does he say, when God looks at you, he said, when God looks at you, does he look at you and say, God loved your husband so much he gave him you? When God looks at your children, parents, does he say that God loved these children so much he gave them you as parents? What? When God looks at your clients, business owners, does God look at you and say, God gave these people, he loved them so much he gave them you? I'm not making any of this stuff up. I'm just reading it kind of slow. I know some of y'all think, I wish you speed up, bro. Okay. I'm going fast. I promise I'm going fast as I can. I don't want to get a ticket. We in a school zone. And then it says, blessed be the Lord thy God, which delighted in thee to set thee on the throne of Israel, because the Lord loved Israel forever, therefore made he thee king to do judgment and justice. And then it says, and she gave the king. Here it comes. She gave the king 120 talents of gold, and spices great store, precious stones. And there came no more such spices, no more such abundance of spices as that which the queen of Sheba gave to King Solomon. Okay, so we're finally into the business model. Through the introduction, the sermon's going to be really short. The introduction takes most of the time, okay? Here it is. King Solomon's business model. Y'all ready? Everybody say I'm ready. He was a consultant to his contemporaries. What does that mean? Solomon was a king. So what he did was he let other kings and queens, you're going to find out that kings came to him too, it wasn't just Queen Sheba. Other kings and queens came to him and paid him to learn how to run their kingdom as smoothly as Solomon ran his kingdom. So when you get really good at doing something, other people who want to do the thing that you're really good at doing will pay you a lot of money so they can run their kingdom as smoothly as you run yours. Now, I believe that in our modern day era, that entrepreneurs are like kings and queens. We have our little businesses and they're like our little kingdoms. And so a consultant to our contemporaries means if you're really good at photography, then you can become a consultant to photographers. If you're really good at music, you can become a consultant to musicians. If you're really good at graphic design, you can become a consultant to graphic designers. If you're really good at business, you can become a consultant to business owners. I know a couple of things. I don't play the piano. I mean, I can play it a little bit, but I don't play the piano. I don't play the guitar that great. I can draw, but I'm no Picasso. So, you know what I can do? I understand business. I understand sales. Those are things I understand. I have a little insight into the Bible. So I figured I'll tie this stuff up together and I'll use the Bible to teach people how to do business. And I'll teach them how to sell. And I'll teach them how to do marketing. And teach them how to grow scale their business. That's what I know how to do. So I'll teach other people who want to learn how to do that. I took the thing that I know and turned it into a consultancy. That's what Solomon did. Now, it says that the Queen of Sheba paid him. How much did she pay him? 120 talents of gold. Do you know what that meant to me when I read it? Absolutely nothing. Has anybody in here ever received a talent of gold? So what did it mean? It meant nothing. So I had to research so I could find out. I want to know how much this woman paid him. Why? This is a pattern. He was a consultant to his contemporaries. When King Solomon was a consultant to his contemporaries, the Queen of Sheba is the one story that it told us so we can get a grip on how much monarchs paid King Solomon. This is one of the monarchs of the earth. 120 talents of gold. So I'm going to help you all do the math. If you want to get your calculator out, you can. I've already done it, but you can take your calculator out as well. So 120, a talent of gold, depending on where it was from. Is it from Babylon? Is it from Egypt? Is it from Rome? How much does it weigh? Well, somewhere between 68 and 74 pounds. So let's just meet in the middle, call it 70 pounds. 120 talents of gold, you take 120 times 70. That gives you the number of pounds of gold. Does that make sense? How many ounces are in a pound? 16. So you take whatever that number is, you multiply it times 16. That tells us how many ounces. So in today's dollars, the price of gold is $2,893.57 an ounce. I know that was very specific, wasn't it? I just looked it up before we got started so I could give you the exact number. So when you multiply that number times 2,893.57, the Queen of Sheba, this does not include the precious stones. This does not include the spices. This is just the gold. The Queen of Sheba in today's dollars paid King. This is one consulting client. In today's dollars, that would have been $388,913,913. $13,208. One client, one consulting session. Say, Myron, why did you charge so much? Solomon did. Now you're laughing. I'm very serious. Okay. Does it? But see, here's the caveat. I have to make sure that if I'm going to charge somebody that much money, they get a return on their investment, because they're not investing in me, they're investing in themselves through me. So would y'all like to hear from somebody who's invested in one of my coaching programs? I'm not selling anybody here a coaching program. That's not the point. But do you want to see how this works? Okay. Can I get a hot mic? Can I get a hot mic? Is that okay, Pastor Benny? Can you give me a hot mic? Okay. Omar, can you come up here? So, was it 2 years ago? Almost 2 years ago, not quite 2 years ago, right? You came to Tampa. And some months? Yeah. Come on over here, bro.
18 months.
18 months ago. So 18 months ago, Omar came to Tampa to an event that I did, right? And you're a business owner, yes, right? And do you mind sharing with people how much revenue your business was doing when you came 18 months ago? And by the way, he bought a $55,000 program. But that's a lot. That was a lot of his revenue, right? So how much revenue were you doing?
I was making about 250.
250,000. He took 55,000 of 250,000 and paid it to me. How many of y'all know he had to have a lot of faith in either something I said or in me or in him somewhere? He had a whole bunch of faith somewhere. Okay, and then that was for 1 year.
Yeah.
And then your year was up, and then you renewed again.
Yeah.
How much revenue did you do last year?
Last year did like 1.2.
1.2 what?
Million.
1.2 million. Yeah, give it up for Omar. So let me ask you a question. Would you say that at least some of that increase in revenue was due to the things that we shared with you from King Solomon's business model? Because literally he joined the coaching program that I started. It's called King Solomon's Court, right? That's what, right? Am I telling the truth?
Yeah.
So, I mean, share with people in your own words. I don't want to make you say something I don't know.
No, I just ran the play. I ran the play that the man set out, but I paid attention because I paid the money. You paid attention
because you paid the money. Now let me ask you this. Were you at least a little apprehensive about paying this? Who charges $55,000 for some coaching, right? And that comes with no one-on-one coaching at all, right?
Right.
No one-on-one coaching at all. It's all group. Like, who does that, right? Were you at least a little apprehensive about it?
A lot of it. I texted my wife. I was like, I don't know about this, but I think I know about this.
But now you know about this.
Now I know about this.
By the way, appreciate you, bro. Yeah. Love you. We've had a great...
And I do want to say... Yes. More than what I made, it's what I'm able to give. And I've been able to give the church that I'm at double than what I made at my last W-2 job.
Wow.
So it's really cool when you get to kind of pay the salaries of people that are working in a church.
Isn't that awesome?
And so that's where the real blessing is.
Praise God. Thank you. Give it up for the Lord, y'all. Thank you, Omar. Like, the only reason I wanted to do that is so you could know. Like, some people think, that's so wrong, charging people that much money. Like, I want to show you, I'm not stealing people's money. I mean, he's one of hundreds. One of hundreds. Oh, by the way, I forgot to ask you, have you ever done, what's the most revenue you've done in a day before we met? The most revenue you ever did in a day? Before. Just shout it out. 5,000? Okay. What's the most you've done in a day since you started working with us? How much? 400 what? $400,000 in revenue in a day. Now, can I say this? This is not because Myron is so awesome. I didn't come up with any of this stuff. Like, I didn't make this up. I am not smart enough to come up with something this good. Clearly. But it's in the Bible. And I just said, I'm going to do what the Bible says. So Solomon was a consultant to his contemporaries. Omar had a business. His business was doing some money. He wanted to do more. I'm not taking credit for his success. He had to do the work. He didn't even get to talk to me like one-on-one. Like, yeah, we have group coaching calls, and they get to ask questions, and we have masterminds where I take 2 whole days and teach really, really cool. But he didn't if he got stuck, he didn't get to call me and say, hey, Myron, what about this? Right? That's not part of the program. But he's still, he's doing all right. And you'll probably do even better over the next 12 months, right? So all I'm saying, God's way works. It's not because it's me. I'm a guy who found a thing in the Bible. And I did it. I'm not any better than you. I'm not any smarter than you. I'm not any sharp. Oh, Myron's just so wonderful. Sometimes. Other times, not so much. So he was a consultant to his contemporaries. That's the first part of his business model. And when he charged his contemporaries, he didn't charge them a little, he charged them a lot. Are y'all tracking? Okay. I promise I'm almost done. I only have 2 more points. I'm almost done. I'm going to be like Pharaoh and let God's people go very shortly. Okay. So watch this. It says, am I still in chapter 10? I think I am. Okay, I'm still in chapter 10. So let's go down to verse number 23. So the king exceeded all the kings of the earth for riches and for wisdom. If you read 2 Chronicles chapter 9, verse 23, it tells us that all the kings of the earth came to Solomon and paid him to learn his wisdom. If every king on earth comes to you and pays you $388 million, you're probably going to be okay. Hashtag just saying. Right? Okay. And maybe they didn't all pay that much. Maybe they paid a percentage of their GDP. But they all paid him a lot. That's the point. Does that make sense? Okay, y'all track it. So then it says, verse 23, so Solomon exceeded all the kings of the earth for riches and wisdom. Why? Because all the kings of the earth came and paid Solomon. Do you know if you could get everybody on earth to give you $1, you'd have $9 billion. Okay, y'all tracking. And then it says, and all the earth sought to Solomon to hear his wisdom that God had put in his heart. Wait, all the earth? Why? Because when the kings and queens of the earth came to Solomon and paid him to learn his wisdom, they sent their people to go learn from Solomon. So when they started implementing the form of government that Solomon was implementing, so the people wouldn't revolt. So they went to learn how to be citizens in the kingdom where King Solomon taught the king how to be a king. But guess what? He didn't teach them for free either. Now watch this. Can Solomon talk to every individual human on earth individually? Is that even possible? No. So what did he do? I believe that Solomon, point number 2, he was a communicator to crowds. Solomon did seminars. Why? Because you can't talk to all the people on earth one at a time. So what did he do? So I've been to the ancient world, like to the ancient city of Ephesus. I've been to ancient Israel. I've been to ancient Greece. They have stadiums that will hold 30,000 people. And the acoustics are so good, you can stand on the bottom and have a conversation. The people in the very top back rows can hear you, okay? I believe that people came to these seminars by the thousands to hear Solomon's wisdom. Why? Because those kings and queens sent them. Now, Solomon was a communicator of crowds. I don't like talking to crowds of people. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so shy. I'm an introvert. I know it's hard for y'all to believe. I'm an introvert who operates as an extrovert in business because operating as an introvert in business means nobody knows I exist. Therefore, they cannot do business with me. But I am naturally an introvert. So, communicating to crowds means you put a message out for the world to hear. Guess what? Some people are going to judge you. Some people are going to misunderstand you. Some people are going to call you names. Oh, well. It's your job to communicate to crowds. So what do? I communicate to crowds. And guess what I do? I charge them for it. Why? Here's what it says. Why do I charge them for it? Because here's what it says. And all the earth sought to Solomon to hear the wisdom which God had put in his heart. And they brought every man his present, vessels of silver and vessels of gold, and garments and armor and spices and horses and mules. Solomon did not teach people for free. He made them pay him. See, do you know why people think that doing something for somebody for free does them the greatest favor? But I believe that doing work for people, providing value for people for free, does them one of the greatest disservices of their life. Why? Because you're buying into their belief that they have a limited ability to pay for the value they receive. So I'm disempowering you by saying, you can't afford, I paid for mine, but you can't afford to pay for yours, so I'm going to give it to you, so you're going to be my charity case. No, that ain't how we do it. Because I know that when I pay for something that's outside my payment comfort zone, it allows me to access a level of creativity that I cannot access any other way. I have to make a decision to pay a price that previously I was unwilling to pay. It makes me uncomfortable. It might make my heart palpitate, might make my hands sweat, but I'm going to pay the price. Why? Because the heart follows the pocketbook. If you don't believe me, ask Jesus. He said, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So Solomon was a consultant to kings. Here's the last point, and I promise you I'm done. He created continuity cash flow. Say, Myron, what's continuity cash flow? Continuity cash flow is you sell something to somebody once and they pay you for it continually. That's called continuity. It's also called, some people call it MRR, some people call it WRR. So what does that mean? MRR means monthly recurring revenue. WRR means weekly recurring revenue. Here's what it says. It says in verse 25, they brought every man their present, vessels of silver, vessels of gold, and garments and armor and spices and horses and mules. Watch this, a rate year by year. Solomon did not charge them once, he charged them every year. Say, Myron, why do you make people pay you $55,000 and then you make them pay you $55,000 again? Or people pay you $375,000 for your VIP program and then they pay you $375,000 again? Because Solomon did. I am not smart enough to improve on what's in the Bible. Hashtag just saying. This is how we gonna do it. And you can either pay every year or be in this year and out the next. I'm good either way. And so what we have to do is, why are we going to attempt to improve on what God has put in his word? I promise you, if you will get to the place where you've got, and then he paused and he said, but you could do so much better. This is a guy who's worth $5 billion. Poor thing. Right? But guess what? I didn't resist it. You think I'm challenging you, right? Okay. I'm 63 years old. I have not made $100 million in my entire life. All the money I've made my whole life is not $100 million. Okay? This man looked me in my God-given eyeballs. And I'm not saying that so you can think I'm somebody. I'm just a regular, I'm not telling you that so you can think I'm somebody. I'm just telling you it works. It could work for you just as well as it works for me. I ain't that special. Watch this. I tricked myself when I was in my 20s and 30s. I would take a number that I thought was a big amount of money, and I would put the word only in front of it. People say, how much did you make? How much money did you make? Well, last month we only made $25,000. Why? Because I realized that seldom will I make as much as, never will I make more than the amount I allow myself to think of as a lot of money. We have a decent revenue stream in our business. I was talking to a new mentor of mine. I was sharing my story with him. He almost patted me on my back poor thing, right? He's like, Myron, you've done really well, right? They didn't have Nikes and stuff when I was a kid, just Converse All-Stars, that was it. Okay, that was the level, you were leveling up because you didn't get the coaches. You got the All-Stars, you got the Chuck Taylors. Some of y'all remember them. Anyway, $1.55 an hour. My first job as a married man, $6.25 an hour. I'm not bragging, I'm just telling you what's possible. I've made millions of dollars in an hour. And I'm not saying that so you can think I'm somebody. I'm just a regular, the communicator to crowds. Solomon did seminars. People paid to go to the seminars. Guess what? We generate in ticket sales for our events, virtual and live events, we generate over $100,000 a month just in ticket sales. I'm not bragging. I promise I'm not bragging. Because if I was going to brag, it'd be about something more than $100,000 a month. Because I get it. And by the way, why are you acting like that's a little bit of money? Because it is. You say, why do I say it is? Here's why. Because, I know it is, but there was a time the amount of money you make now you thought was a lot. Can I get a witness? How many of y'all remember your first job? I remember my first job. You know how much I made when I got my first job? $1.55 an hour. And I thought I was rich. I got my own money. I'll buy my own Converse All-Stars. Thank you very much.